Welcome back, Twitch and YouTube viewers. I don't know why I do that every time. Today's day 7 on our Deadeye Ranger Pew Pew. Very creative name. Definitely the strongest build I've played so far. And honestly, maybe a little too strong.
Yes?
Oh, I made another divine. Look at that. What did somebody buy? The mitts? Somebody bought my mitts.
Can I help?
So I want to just do a little overview here.
All right. Your
About
order is registered.
the character and the patch and everything that's happened, what kind of my take on it after, basically beating the game. I mean, yeah, you can keep playing from here on, but the progression is very limited, honestly. And my character basically one-shots the whole game. Once you get up to 16,000, or once I stack up Tailwind, 20,000 DPS, it's enough to clear everything in the whole game. Quite handedly, it would appear.
Go on. Have you found more of what we seek? Speak.
And I guess let's start off with the character build, because we kind of see the patch through our characters and our skills that we chose to use. And I played the most popular Deadeye, Lightning Arrow, Lightning Rod, with Barrage. I don't really ever click Voltaic Mark. I could really honestly take that off my bar. And you just use tornado shots on bosses. Really Barrage too. You're only going to press once per boss fight, honestly. Doesn't really increase your DPS, it's more for the burst. But yeah, this character basically, you just take, now that we can take the strongest gems in every slot, we take rapid attacks on Lightning Arrow, elemental armament adds a bunch of damage, Innervate adds a bunch of clear. Once you kill one thing, your weapon's innervated. Charged shots, that's just more DPS. Every 3 shots, you do more damage. And then on Lightning Rod, we just stack all damage. And then even that magnified area, we switch over. This is more for clear. Then we switch over to concentrated area for more damage for the boss. And we don't really care about how fast this is getting shot, because the bosses usually have this giant monologue animation where they enter the battle. So you can stack up 8 lightning rods and then shoot a tornado shot on top of them, and then lightning arrow the tornado shot on the lightning rods, and it just multiplies your damage, because every lightning arrow is shooting out enough chains to activate every lightning rod. And the tooltip damage of 10k, or when you have tailwind stacked up, right, as you put down the rods, 12k is actually getting multiplied. It's 12k per rod, right? So if we do 10 rods, it's 120k damage, essentially. And then the lightning arrow on top of that, because the lightning arrow is also going to hit the boss. So we're talking like 140k damage, and this isn't even with a good bow. This bow's like dirt cheap. I made it myself. It's got a dead suffix on it and reduced attribute requirements. You can easily spend 1 div, 2 div, 3 div, and I could triple my damage. But it's just not really necessary. I could also get 3 attack prefixes on the rings. This one only has 1, but it is a pretty good one. It's only tier 3 actually. Yeah, I could get 2 more attack prefixes on these gloves. Actually, no, it's at the bottom. I could get 1 more instead of accuracy. There's still like stuff I could buy and trade for, but at this point it's kind of whatever because the game plays itself essentially. I still could get 1 shot. Also, I could switch over to energy shield. Let me go over the passive tree real quick. When we get our last point here, we could go do that also. It would be pretty trivial at this point. To get Windward, that'll help us not get 1 shot. It'll be 3% less damage per tailwind, and we'll have 10 tailwind. So basically, the first time we get hit, we'll have 30% damage reduction, which probably is fine. Probably means we might not ever need to go energy shield, but if you go energy shield, you basically triple your health anyways. Or hybrid, I mean, not pure energy shield. But we have, another projectile here. We have some more damage if they're right next to us. And we have tailwind, which is super strong, just more skill speed, move speed, evasion per stack. And as far as our tree, we just took generic damage, a little bit of elemental pen, quiver bonuses, which are just basically damage. All of these are, movement speed and generic damage. Basically, even these companion nodes, since you take this one, Inspiring Ally, increases and reductions to companion damage also apply to you. So this is a 22% increased damage node instead of a 10%. So these are super good. And then we invested into Deflect. We also have a little Herald buff for clear. We're coming out here to get piercing arrows for clear, and then some more generic damage with feathered fletching. We all move speed here. We got enduring deflection for more defensive investment. Over here we got flash storm for more penetration, chance to shock, and then up here for some more companion nodes because they're 22% each. Essentially, a few more levels here. We might come out here because there's some movement speed right off your start. We got 4% movement speed. If we come out over here, and a bunch of evasion rating. We finish off a little bit of the bow tree. And geez, there ain't that much left for this build. Eventually, once you get, we only have a few more levels, say like 7 more levels, and then we'd want to try to spend our wealth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're getting close to level 100 if we do all of that. And that's like the full build for flat damage. And then we would switch, if we wanted to, we would switch out and not spec over here really at all. We'd go for all these crit nodes, and we'd go into crit and energy shield, and we go into the monk zone, and that's like the end game. Gives you that extra bit of scaling, triples your life pool, and gets your damage scaling into really ridiculous zones that you're not going to need with this kind of setup, with Lightning Rod being as strong as it is. You can just do a flat setup, and this is actually fine. But yeah, for a crit, you just basically take all these little triangles, and then the double diamond, and then the other triangle here, Careful Assassin, True Strike, For the Jugular, Deadly Force. You come down here, take Moment of Truth, and then through here, Crashing Wave is more damage if you've crit. Flow Like Water, increased attack speed, and then you can come up here and you can get some extra energy shield here. And essentially, your gear setup is basically derived from Subterfuge Mask, which gives you evasion per energy shield on your helmet, and then Spectral Ward, which gives you energy shield per evasion on your body armor. And you know, you might say you might want a full evasion body armor, but you can do a hybrid evasion body armor, hybrid evasion energy shield, and you actually get more energy shield. You're going to spec this node either way. Doesn't really matter. But if you get enough points, you can come all the way up here and take Patient Barrier, and that's 60% increased max energy shield. Essentially what we did with the same thing with Amazon last patch. It's basically the same build, just on the Deadeye chassis for Tailwind. As far as the leak mechanics, I mean, let's be honest. Lightning Rod is too strong. The skill balance needs a little work. That character basically plays itself. And we got just a bluff here. Grab a map, throw it in there. Now we could do an accuracy map, whatever. Extra cold, accuracy, inflict bleeding. Yeah, sure. There's some bugs with the map, as you can see. I can't click on anything. Sometimes the nodes don't work right. Oh, actually, no, we have to do a full map for the tower. That's right, because we don't get to redo it. We want all of our tablet slots open. This one looks like promising. She still hasn't traded that, huh? There's so many trading at 58.
I'll fill that in as soon as I can.
Wow, Chaos Orbs are going down in price too. I don't even have enough of these. Oh, let's see here.
I'll post it right away.
Just try to dump all of your stuff back into Exalts right now if you can, because the market is shifting. Oh, I have 7 of these.
Let's see if there are any takers.
Okay, that's all my stuff converted into the better currencies now. Exalts are kind of going up in price, so if you can, hold on to them. Switch everything over. So yeah, I mean, since the character is so strong, let's try to do a map here. We'll show it off a bit on a good old maxed out tier 15 with a bunch of stuff going on. You just kind of hold Lightning Arrow and then press your mana flask every once in a while.
Storming arrow.
And if you have to make a defensive area, you just throw a rod down. Like if you're a little worried. We can still get one shot. It's totally possible, but pretty rare at this point because our damage is so high. A lot of stuff's not going to make it on the screen. But you know, with bad map modifiers and stuff, a lot of characters are still killable, including this one. But as soon, if we switched over to Energy Shield like we could right now, if we just wanted to go shopping, it would be pretty trivial. I don't think we would ever have a problem dying. Or not dying, rather. See, that was a rare. That was a rare from the Abyss, nonetheless, and you saw what happened to him. I just like to throw a rod outside when they're spawning out of the Abyss. Some guys still take some shots, you know, some shots because we have a pretty weak bow, honestly. It's like 300 DPS maybe, and it goes up to like 600 are the strongest ones on the market. So, yeah. We could essentially just double our damage if we went shopping also. But as you can see, I mean, it would only increase our speed a little bit. And, you know, we could buy, you know, faster boots. They got like really fast boots now. Or try to craft them. The crafting's pretty deterministic if you follow some set steps. So I'm pretty sure we could just craft them if we wanted to invest in that too. Just a matter of farming and getting a piece of gear, farming, get a piece of gear. Which is not the most engaging thing. When the progression is so, like, we're talking like, you know, 20 maps, and then maybe you go shopping again. Not the most engaging gameplay. I much prefer when the character's a lot weaker, honestly. And you don't have to go through. I even got a loot filter on, and There's still just so much items to go through, I don't even care about them anymore. The next one over here is the Corrupted Nexus. And for these, I just want to make sure I don't accidentally take an L. So I just throw a 1 in there. We don't even worry about it. At least 4 explicit mods. Oh, okay. Looks like we got a pretty big map here. But I really like the Abyss and the crafting and stuff. You know, I haven't actually done the Abyss fight with that guy. I don't know what I would have to do to trigger it. I think it's probably luck to get a entry, or I could buy it. But I did beat Zesht, you know, just the tier 1 version, but he died so easily, I'm pretty sure the other versions would die pretty easy too. Like, I didn't even get to see one of his attacks, so... You know, I probably won't follow a guide for a build again, because the game is just way too easy. And like, we're a lot stronger this patch also, and it does feel like you want a character that can do the content and not be afraid you're gonna get one shot all the time, but this is also boring. And I don't know, people have fun getting super wealthy, but then like the league resets, I don't understand why you want to get super wealthy just for the league to reset and then your wealth is gone. Doesn't make any sense to me. If it was like an MMO or you wanted to play standard all the time and like you actually had something to use that wealth on, I don't know. It's really like I guess the economy isn't deep enough yet, is one way to put it, for me to care about that kind of thing. If it was like, yeah, this super late game content you can't do unless you had something, then sure, but most of this stuff is campaign gear I'm wearing. So, yeah. It's just a little easy this time around, doing the most optimal build on a patch that buffed all the characters also. Dang, they only gave me 1 checkpoint, huh? But it was, you know, fun in the beginning going through the campaign. I mean, that's always a blast. But, you know, I feel like this game's probably going to develop in a way for the PoE 1 players, which, you know, they say they want a complicated game. There was a guy who kind of dogged on them, and they tried to dog back on him. But honestly, the guy has a lot of good points about I feel like the negativity of everyone definitely led to a better feeling game early with Sprint. Sprint is definitely cool. I probably shouldn't have switched my thing yet. Well, okay, I guess we're going in the depths. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically the argument is that, you know, all the PoE1 players are negative about the game and the new vision about making it harder and slower. And,
Fury.
you know, the meaningful combat not being fun. For why they, you know, they want to play the power fantasy. Well, this is the power fantasy, guys. This is like, you don't have to really play the game. Yeah, I don't care what any of these guys are doing. I'm just holding one button. It's like, okay, he put a ground effect down. I had to like heal. Okay.
This'll do nicely.
The only thing that hurts me is ground effects. Awesome. I don't know. I don't know how you have fun with this for very long when there's literally no challenge in the game. Like, I'd go try higher tier bosses, but I'm pretty sure with how fast I killed the first one, I mean, they're all gonna die. And if they don't, I could literally just buy a bow that does double my damage, and then they're definitely gonna die.
Got no pack space for that.
Oh, jeez. Do I even care about a mace? Who, like, what are the chances that mace is good? Like, I just face tanked that guy. I literally got stuck on him and he did nothing. Oh, it's armor. I mean, that's not terrible. But, like, do I even care at this point about the loot? Maybe the boots. Nope, no movement speed. And like only having one modifier on each item to look for, it just makes all the loot so bad. The chances of you finding anything good is pretty slim. I did find one like in-game chaos wand, like +4 to chaos skills and 100% chaos damage, 100% spell damage. Nobody's bought it yet because I put it at 13 div. Maybe I should lower it down to like 10 or 5 or something.
Stay light, stay alive.
I don't know, just drop these, I guess. Penetrating quiver, yeah, I just... Omen, sure. Like, all of the rare items are, even with the filter on, are just not super worth your time. What's up, Christina? You're on Twitch chat? Okay, you're banned. You're a bot. Account created 15 hours ago. Good try. Twitch is such a dead platform, by the way, honestly.
Take this.
And there's the boss. Good try. Oh, wait, another one? And there's the other boss. Okay. Super fun. Super fun game. I don't know. I feel like if your character for your character to be this strong should take a little more investment than what I put into the game, like 7 days. I think this helm's good. Is this a sought after use for something?
This holds great power.
No, no, this isn't the one. Let me just identify this. I mean, that looks not terrible, but... Wait, did I not get points for that? Oh, it had to be tier 6 plus. My bad. I think I just... I thought I could do the lowest one. Well, anyways, none of the loot was really any good. I got a sapphire ring I could slam a chance shard on if I had one. I mean, I don't expect the loot to be any good from that one, because it was such a low level. But most of the loot's kind of irrelevant when your character's this strong, which means your progression's basically done. And we could take out some uniques, like all of them, like the one we just got, and this thing, and I like to take out the low-level ones, but actually some of the low-level ones are better for leveling another character, but maybe we should just take out the high-level ones. And you can throw them in here. Get 6 shards. I need 3 more. I already have a Widow Hail in standard, surely. This was actually a level 32 ring, but blind chilled enemies on hit. I don't know, I got a lot of cool stuff for cold, I guess. If I put it all on a character, but yeah, let's get rid of that.
Collect more otherworldly remnants.
Okay, no shard.
Speak quickly.
Or no unique from that.
Find more breach remnants for my research.
But I'd say the mechanics were pretty fun. I think you know, they need to iron out the progression late game, so it doesn't feel like you're just one-shotting maps forever. There should be like, I guess back to what I was saying with like the controversy, right, between the PoE1 players and the PoE2 newbies like myself. It's like I can definitely get why the people played PoE1 now. I'm starting to understand. You know, they want a complicated in-game that's satisfying to keep playing, which this obviously doesn't have yet. But I feel like that's something that like a 20-year-old game has because it's had 20 years of development on it. And this game will surely have more and more every patch. But what's kind of good about a certain pace of gameplay without it being too fast or too slow is that you can have that meaningful friction and the visual clarity in that. And yeah, you might not get this exact same feeling of progression, you know, where you're just one-shotting everything until like the very, very end. And that, for this character, is like right now. Like I could do all of these maps, and you know, even with my very, you know, low quality, like this is a 300 damage bow. You know, this is only 1500 evasion chest for defense, and I don't even have all my flat damage slots filled out. You know, it's just kind of cooked at this point. There's not that friction nor the progression, like having to go in, put in a map, do a map, put in a map, do a map, actually like physically using the map device rather than going to the next zone, the next zone, the next zone is actually like a bit off-putting also. It's like going in here, finding your map tab, picking a map, and then, you know, like the whole process is a little, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of extra work rather than playing through the campaign and going to the next zone, next zone, next zone, having to interact with this thing. If I could just click here and then have my map tab brought up right here, that would solve a lot of problems for me. Like, why can't I access my maps from this area? It's just an inventory management thing. And, you know, if you're going to purposely make the inventory management a problem so people buy stash tabs, then, you know, that kind of friction puts me off, especially when there's so many drops this late in the game. Even with a loot filter on. Oh, I'm so dumb for not putting in the right tier map for this one, though. I didn't get any points for it. I didn't read it. I thought I could do the lowest tier. Well, what I would do now is, I guess, go search for more corruption. Oh, it looks like there's some over here, so not too far. Just keep going this direction. I have some really juice maps. I could do a tier 4 Zesht if I cleared out all these breaches I put in. quite handedly. But there's just not a lot of incentive. But I can definitely see how like their updates from the PoE 1 complainers complaining did make the game better in some ways. But in other ways, like it's not really a game anymore. Like maybe if I played a suboptimal character, then it would still feel like a game, but now it doesn't feel like a game. It feels like a job or a chore, because there's no more meaningful combat, right? You're just grinding for loot, and that's great for a little bit, you know, but you can't even really do anything with your wealth is the thing, other than trade and progress your character. And there's no PvP in the game. So what's the point of it all? Just to do it? Right? So I really feel like you need to keep the combat meaningful. And my guild member just said he got 133,000 tooltip on Lightning Arrow, which is way more than you would ever need. Very excessive. As you can see, I can kill everything in the game with a tenth of that. So, yeah, I mean, enemy scaling versus like the player scaling, and maybe you need more tiers of maps, because like we have tier 16s, but like you just have to randomly Val orb all your maps to get there. And it's not much harder. It's not that much harder. It's like one tier up is like one level up, which like increases all of the monster's health and whatever by a tiny bit, but it's not really anything. And like I even have 0 chaos res because the people complained so much about the chaos after effects killing them that there's just no chaos damage in the game. Like no, I don't get hit by chaos, so I don't die to chaos because it's so obvious. Like you just walk through the slow moving projectiles and they explode behind you. So yeah, I mean, lots of good improvements though, I'd say. I'd say sprint is cool, although I started riding a row, so I don't get a sprint anymore. So I haven't really interacted with it in a while. But if you get good at it, as you can see, I can sprint right out of my roll just for a couple frames. And if I was in combat, you can do this to move in combat and not get hit, which was not their ideal use of this. If you don't want me to sprint in combat to take advantage of the movement speed to kite your mobs, you have to make all the projectiles move much quicker. There was one zone in Act 4, the Karui village, Naga something, where they all had the blood. Yeah, the heart of the tribe here. The blood fever rages in the flame cast night in the heart of the tribe map. These blood fever guys have fast projectiles and they leap slam on your face, so you can't really sprint through this area. It's much more difficult. But the rest of the game, the projectiles are so slow that, I don't know, everyone's just kind of whined and cried their way into making the game not a game anymore. And, you know, they say they want a complex game, like late game, and, like, I don't know, complexity doesn't make a game good on its own. You have to have, you know, risk and reward in value there, and I think the crafting and stuff does, but maybe it's just a little too accessible. Because I don't really even think I crafted much at all. I just kind of desecrated a thing here and there. I have a desecration on my bow and my quiver, and that's all I really needed. And now I can kill everything in all of the maps for essentially forever. Like, I don't know. I definitely think the PoE1 players made the game better with their changes. However, you also need to make the game hard enough to where it's still a game. And now it's just kind of too easy. So maybe maybe in the next round they get to the in-game balance, they get to skill balances, so you can play more skills, rather than, I think there's like a handful of ones that are really optimal, but I think probably everything's playable because you can get such good gear that you can make really any skill do tons of damage. You know, the support gems definitely moved everything up a bit. And I guess technically I'm comboing sometimes. Lightning Rod, Lightning Arrow. But I've been doing this since level 1. And I don't feel like it's very fun to where your strategy never changes. Like, like, if I go to cut a gem... where are my gems? Like, I have a level 19. Oh, I definitely should level up Lightning Rod again. But these, what are these? 13? Level 13 gems are your last gems, and like, where's the level 20 gems? I feel like this should have a scroll bar on it, so that the skills go all the way to the highest gem level, and that you're slotting in more than one combo, preferably. Whereas, like, where's the lightning resistant mobs that are like supposed to be hard for me to kill? They don't really exist.
Lightning rod.
Like, I should want to switch to the poison. I should want to switch to the physical damage and the fire damage. I should want to switch to a second weapon for melee. Like, when I get surrounded, the bow shouldn't be practical anymore. Like, a spear, a dagger, a quarterstaff, a sword... all of these surrounding weapons should be the melee weapons should be practical. We're not quite there yet. You know, a lot of the stuff's not released, so there's still, you know, time for that stuff to get implemented.
To the ground after impact.
I kind of want to do Lightning Arrow.
Lightning.
Because it's 2 levels. On Lightning Arrow. But I don't know. I don't really need to level anything up. I also have another socket I can put in something. But it's all irrelevant at this point. I also have a bunch of bows and quivers I could craft on. A breach ring I could craft on, but I don't know. Like, when your character's like already an immortal god killing everything on screen, the game's kind of over for me because, like I said, the combat's out the window. I don't know if there's really anything else to be said that I haven't already said now. We kind of went over the character, how it was built, and some of the mechanics. There's some of these deterministic crafting things
Can I help?
are great. Crafting's definitely a thing, but this ups player power so much. Getting to do the let me see here. There's a Omen of Homogenizing Coronation and Exaltation. Oh, Exaltation specifically. Basically, the combination of omens, all of the omens, you know, with the abyssal body parts and everything combines together just to, you can just make really, really good stuff with not a ton of work, and it's just kind of like going to Farm Town until you get enough of these perfects. Like, I don't have a perfect Regal right now, but I don't even know if I have a high enough thing where I'd want to high enough item level base here. Are any of these a high item level? 79. Nah, because I haven't been Val Orbing my stuff. You need to Val Orb your Waystones. But, you know, this is a Breach Ring. Breach Ring's a Breach Ring. Let's see what we can get on it. If we wanted to... I guess we... Is there even an Omen that we would want to use here? Probably not. Right away. Or a fragment we would want to use right away? Probably not. Or sorry, not a fragment, an essence. Yeah, no, these don't work on raw things, so we just go raw. Increased lightning tier 1. Very nice. .32 strength, tier 1. Very nice. Now, I don't have a Regal. And this isn't really worth anything yet. I only have a greater Regal. So, I guess I could trade for a perfect Regal. No stock, huh?
All right, your order is registered.
Oh, also, we could... This is where you can use an essence. I guess it's just mana or fire res is all I have right now. But these aren't even max, right? This has a better chance of being max, I think. If we wanted something specific on it, but I think we're just crafting it to trade it away. So we just slam. Tier 1 all res max roll. You see how easy this was? You just slam these orbs in here. Now it's getting close to being worth a ton. They still have these on the market for not a lot, though. Like, I think I spent probably 15 Exalted on it already. But we're pretty much into the 1 divine territory with this thing. And we could slam a perfect Exalted Orb in it. Or, if you wanted to modify it now, you could annul it or fracture something on it. But I think for our purposes, I think these perfect Exalted Orbs are like 2 divine apiece.
Can I help?
I think you just try to sell this as it is, honestly. There's still enough room on it for somebody else to craft on it. It's not totally determined. Wow, somebody else is selling something fully maxed out. Yeah, like they started with something like this and then it went wrong and now they're only selling it for 1 chaos. Let's see here, the divine one is pretty similar.
Can I help?
And we just spent like 10x.
Oh, it's you.
So yeah, it's still 79. So yeah, I mean, you could turn this into a near perfect ring. Still. Like, what do they call it? Mirror tier? Is tier 1 or tier 2? Yeah, but these guys have it maxed out. I guess I'd want to use an omen now, probably. Surely there's an omen we could use.
What's new?
But, you know, we're not really crafting this for a specific build. This is for, like, a health stacking blood mage that wants, like, the strength and the all res. And is going to use, like, arc. So yeah, I don't know, maybe like 2 div.
I'm sure someone will want that.
I mean, it's not for me. So why would, if I keep crafting on it and I get a bad roll, it's going to be harder to get rid of. But it's really good. I mean, I kind of want it flat. Like, if I put this on over my stuff... Oh. Yeah, it's not. I'm losing like a K. I mean, it is maxing out all my reses, right? No, not really. My reses are pretty balanced. It's overcapping. We definitely do need res.
Hmm? Seems like a good deal.
Res swapping. I heard somebody suggest that because such little, like, you have to change all your gear when you change one piece, so you just end up not wanting to change anything. But yeah, we could desecrate it and all that stuff. I guess, yeah, we could have done that. I don't think I have a perfect collarbone, though.
Have an order?
No, I don't have an ancient collarbone. They're pretty expensive. It's like 2.5 div for a perfect collarbone. But you could even get lucky with the cheaper one. This is kind of the point. Right? I don't know, you just slam the best stuff you got and pray or use the omens to finagle stuff on there. That was just kind of a whatever craft, honestly. If I could probably make it into an upgrade if I spit enough to like finagle on some flat damage on there and one more specified resistance. But yeah, I mean, I'd say W. The patch, you know, the game's, I think, going in the right direction overall. I mean, the campaign felt better, but the end game to me felt worse because I'm so strong and it's just kind of a snooze fest. So I think maybe they just need to make maps harder. Well, honestly, it's the time to kill versus the time to death. Like, it's one shot or get one shot, at least with my evasion build. And from what I can see, basically the only time anyone dies is when they get one shot by different things. Even the warriors get hit by a big physical attack, and it goes through their armor. You know, I don't know. I feel like character defenses and monster defenses need to go up and scale along more paths so that the time to kill and the time to die are reasonable. Like, I feel like the monsters should make it onto your screen and that you should have to maybe roll or sidestep a few boss mechanics no matter what, and that would keep the game interesting. But right now I have to do 0 boss mechanics and no monsters make it on my screen, so I mean that's GG's, right? Like there's no more challenge left in the game. It's just like you might get one shot by some random things someday, unless I go to energy shield, and then probably not getting one shot anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the art, the art team, all of this stuff. Pretty sure this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, and they like made it look really unique and beautiful. So like, it's really the art and the campaign gameplay where it's actually fun and you're interacting with stuff that I play for. And I know a lot of people play for different reasons, like trying to get super rich. But like I said, that doesn't really make any sense when the league's going to end in a few months, and then all of that just, unless you play standard, all that stuff's just gone for the new league. So I think that this is where my league ends, and I didn't even make it as far as my other characters because I'm so much stronger than my other characters, so much earlier than my other characters. I feel like this last bit just needs to get smoothed out to where you want to hit level 100 and there's still progression from level 80 to 100, but that you're not going through this mindless grind fest where the monsters are basically immaterial, paper thin health bars. Like Lightning Rod just needs to be nerfed, period. Like it needs to put a static, like you can only chain so many times on one target on it. Because this is just not okay. But I feel like if they smooth this out and they add some more story into the end game, you'll actually want to get a character to 100. And it won't just be like mindless, I hold one button and run around the map gameplay. It's just like, it's not really a game. Not to me, it's not. You need a little bit more depth to the combat than that. And I don't mind the complexity of the late game crafting and stuff like that. I think that's also interesting. But it's just everything they did this patch, all classes buffed. Well, they missed a few things, like the acidic concoction and stuff. Didn't quite make it. But the things that did get buffed are like way super strong. Like this is gonna be my lowest level character. I didn't even make it to 90. Whereas like I made it to 91 on the Lightning Javazon. I feel like the Lightning Javazon, or the Amazon Huntress, was not as strong as this character. Like this character's way stronger than that, and you guys nerfed that this patch. But this character is way stronger than the Lightning Javazon because the Amazon has to build up volt charges to clear the screen, and this character can just hold a button. This is all I have to do to clear a screen. So, and I didn't even get to do all the Abyss. I didn't even get to see the Act 4 bosses mechanics because I was just too strong. So there's a lot of big letdowns, but a lot of steps in the right direction. I don't think they're in the spot to balance the game yet. They need to get all the acts in. Give them time. They need to get all the character classes and all the skills in the game. Give them time. get all the bug fixes and performance ironed out after all the content's in. Give them time for that. And then when you have an optimized, fully contented out game, you can focus on balancing everything and smoothing out that progression curve and dialing in all the numbers. And that's probably going to be a year or two away. You know, maybe they have all the content in a year and the performance done in, 6 months after that. And then in 6 months after that, they can finally do enough balance passes and quit adding new stuff to the game so that they can actually get that progression curve feeling just right to where you feel like I'm getting stronger. And then like you kind of want these arcs of strength where you feel like you're getting stronger near the end of the act. You beat the pinnacle boss and like that was a challenge, and then at the beginning of the next act you are introducing these new monsters and you kind of feel strong, but the monsters are new and they have different effects. And maybe you're kind of hit with a new level of difficulty after you've had a chance like midway through an act to feel strong. Like you feel the progression from the last act. And you kind of want to do the same thing in in-game maps, and I'm not feeling that honestly anymore. Whereas like I'm just way stronger than everything, and I can get even stronger, which is scary, because you're gonna be you can watch the big streamers who are also playing this build and playing 24/7. And rushing through the campaign and not listening to any of the dialogue, and you can see where they're at, and there's just no challenge in the game. There's just not, like, it's so I feel like you have to kind of set a limit on like how long is that going to take, but I feel like how much of the atlas should you have to clear before you feel super strong. And it should be like a few screens. It should be way more than this. Or like your Atlas passives.
Speak.
Like how many of these should you have to get before you feel super strong? Well, I feel like you should complete this. And then you should you should have access to drops that only you have access to. And I feel like you should complete this in a sense, whereas you've cleared out enough, if it is truly endless. And I didn't even do the Arbiter Ash again. I just feel like it's so boring to grind just to get to do that fight. I didn't even find a Citadel, did I? I have to keep searching around for a Citadel and just I don't know, I could make the loot filter more strict and filter out more items so I don't have to like go through them. And then maybe it would feel like less of a chore. But I don't know, this whole process to me just needs to be kind of like just get me into another map, If I can just go map to map and not have to worry about leveling up the Waystone and going through all the gear every time and have it fill up my inventory. I don't know. I know that's how they sell the stash tabs, but they gotta kind of do a little work on that. I didn't even get to do any of these. It wouldn't take very long to run around this and clear all the nodes and try to do one of the deadly map bosses. But I mean, I one shot Zesh, so I mean, it's not even gonna be a fun fight. If these guys are supposed to be like mini bosses, then they're dead. Yeah. So my level 90 Stormweaver is probably my weakest character because I didn't go the optimized build, but I'd say I probably had the most fun on it. I I lucked into Lightning Spear on the Sky Fury because I wanted to just play the Diablo 2 Lightning Javazon, and it just turned out to be really strong. And I made it one more level, but then I quit there. And this guy is so freaking strong. I'm down 2 levels from 90, and I'm just like everything's cake. But they said the next patch they're gonna iron out the end game. That's gonna be like one of their main focuses. So hopefully, they scale the enemy's health up so they can actually make it on the screen. Um, and they scale your health up. Like, I feel like evasion and deflect could be way stronger. Um, because I'm still getting one shot. I don't know. I feel like the monsters probably need to. They need to be able to get to you and hit you multiple times without trapping you and allowing you to roll through their stuff. So, like jumping, leaping attacks or something like that, combined with projectiles, or like, I don't know. I kind of don't mind the ground effects that explode on you. Those usually one shot you. Or it's like a spell that makes a rune on the ground and blows up. As long as that rune's easy to see. But, it's in the right direction. We got 3 range characters here. The next thing I'll probably do is a witch. And then, maybe the mercenary. And then I'll go to the melee classes because they really need the most time. I'm giving them as much time as possible for me to play the melee classes because everyone says how bad they are. But I would probably have more fun playing that slower playstyle, even though it's not super hyper optimized or whatever, because you're actually playing a game. And then, comparison is the thief of joy. You watch other people play Deadeye, and then you're not going to have fun because you see how easy it is for them. So I think that's about it. I think I've said my piece for the patch. It was a good time. I hope they, keep going in the right direction. And we'll see if they can iron out the end game on the next one. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. And next on the channel, I think we have Hollow Knight, and they just came out with Silksong. So I don't know if I should do Hollow Knight right into Silksong because I'm sure Silksong will make it on my list of games to play. Maybe I'll skip Hollow Knight, and then once I'm sure Silksong is a banger, go back, or maybe I'll just do a back-to-back next on the channel. Let's see where that is right now. $20, and they don't have the reviews yet, do they? Doesn't appear that they have reviews yet. Apparently people were waiting for this for 8 years. Is that how old Hollow Knight is? 2017? Shoot, that is 8 years. What the heck? Well, yeah, I guess we can try this on the channel next. But I'm going to take a short break, and in a few days we'll get back to it. Well, that'll be all. Until next time. Take care. Have some fun. Gaming's for everyone. I'll catch you next